Hi, I'm Alex Archbold. I've been buying and selling antiques since I was a kid. Over the years, generations of our family have gotten involved in the business, and I'll search just about anywhere I can to find hidden treasures both big and small. I never know what I'll turn up next. It's about exploring new places, seeing new sights, and having fun. And even though sometimes I get over my head, we try and make things a little better along the way. This is Curiosity Inc. Hey everybody, and welcome to today's episode. It is late December, the time I'm filming this video, which is the start of a new series I'm going to embark upon. The weather is fantastic, there's not a pile of snow, and it's actually very warm outside. And I've decided in the last week or so, a while back we did a video where I picked up some motorcycles, and I sold a couple, but I have a friend, my friend Dale, who's been on several episodes with us. And Dale is a motorcycle fanatic, and he had a car that used to belong to me. He bought it off of me, and now I'm buying it back. So any minute he should be pulling up on the road here, and we're gonna head off with the trailer and pick it up. It's a little bit ambitious because this car had been in a collision back in the 70s or early 80s, and it's not been fixed since. So I'm taking it upon myself to be the guy to fix this thing. Let's hope that we can. But this is day one, episode one of the renovation, the revitalization of a 1965 Alfa Romeo Giulietta 1600 Spider. So let's go. Dale has arrived, and of course you all remember Dale.
Hey guys.
What was the last video you were on? Were you hauling that Volkswagen bus out of the field with me?
That was probably the last
Close
one.
to it? Okay.
Yeah.
I'm gonna let you grab your phone, and I'm gonna throw this paperwork in, but Dale's brought a couple things for me here. Part of what we're doing is trading back for a car I used to own, and these classic bikes are going to be yours. There's only 16 or 19 original kilometers on this Dnepr.
And that's not 1,000, that's actual
16.
16.
Yeah. So I got it from a friend of ours, and he said it's, to his knowledge, never even been registered. It's still basically a brand new bike. And then the Jawa only had 1,600 kilometers. So a couple neat things. But as part of the trade, part of the deal, I'm also ending up with this, which I also sold this to you years back. But you've got it has a little spot on the front where you can make the thing work. Yeah, so you've adapted a drill bit.
Yeah, I made a drill bit, put a roll pin in it so it can engage the dog on the front of the engine. And, you know, when I got it from you, it needed a lot of TLC.
Yeah.
So I've kind of rebuilt everything, mostly the gearbox. But it's all just a lovely, lovely demonstrator now.
And this had come out of a high school in, I think, Prince Edward Island when I was out there. I picked it up.
That's where you said you got it from.
Yeah, I remember putting it in my suitcase and packing all my socks and stuff around it so it wouldn't get jostled. And somehow it made it back. So let's see what it does. So you put that on there.
We can put this on here.
Oh yeah, and then the engine goes around.
If I press the button,
Yeah.
now you can see the cylinders fire.
Oh yeah, look at them. And this would have been to teach kids how a drivetrain works in a vehicle.
Now right now it's in reverse.
Yeah.
So now if I go down, that's first gear.
Yeah.
Up, that's second gear. And then down, that's third.
Oh yeah, there's your
You see
highway
it goes,
speed.
it goes faster.
Yeah. Does the clutch work on it, or is that brakes?
Yep, no, that's the clutch.
That's the clutch, and it
You can
does.
see the clutch working.
Oh yeah.
And even the starter, you can engage it here. Let me just...
Oh yeah, you can see the
engage
starter
the
engaged.
starter engage.
So it's a pretty elaborate little set.
And the brakes work. So what you do with the brakes, let's just go and look this one here. So you can see how...
Oh yeah, yeah. The shoes are
and
coming
you can
out.
actually see it operating, and then
Yeah, this is a German company, and they made them with full chassis and with front ends on them and headlights, and those are fairly desirable. This is also desirable. This would have been a later model. But
so it's got the workable steering,
yeah,
and like I say,
Working
there's
clutch.
the clutch.
well, very
And
cool piece.
The suspension works.
It's going to end up in my office, where I'm sure it was in your office for the last
Yeah.
number of years.
And this actual fan belt, because it was missing, that's an O-ring from an airplane.
Oh, and it was the perfect size.
Yeah.
Oh, well, that's great.
So it just works.
Well, thanks for bringing that. I've got paperwork for you, but you ready to go pick up a car?
Yes, let's go
All
pick
right.
up
There it is. I've seen this car not that long ago because I see you pretty often, but Haven't seen it in person in a while. Oh, it's red interior. I couldn't remember. So this is it. It doesn't look so bad from this side,
The other side.
but it's the other side that's the problem. And I'm hoping it's going to be repairable. So I guess we'll see. But do you want me to crawl back there, Dale, and I can get in the... Are you taking the wheel chucks off?
Well, I'm going to swing the tail out.
I feel like I put brand new tires on this car. Or these are Pirellis.
I thought these were the ones that...
When I got it, it had flat tires. So these might be, I can't remember. It's been, what, 5-6 years, something like that?
At least.
At least?
At least.
Yeah. Oh, look at this. Isn't that handy?
It moves easy.
It's like I didn't show the wheels down. They're like gorilla strength. Okay, I'm going to, I'll put the camera away and then well, I guess we'll get the ramps at the ready.
I think so.
And
Come back just a couple feet.
are you going to come back? You want me to guide you, or?
I think I'm pretty much set up.
It might not be bad having a little bit of room before the ramp, so we get some speed. Okay. I will trust his judgment, but there it is. These are a pretty little car. This one certainly deserves to be saved. You sure you don't want me to crawl down under there, Dale?
No, I've got the coat for it.
Okay. So we've got a couple chains to go on the rear axle there, which Dale's getting in place, and then we'll hook the winch up to. It's really handy having a winch. I don't have one of those on my trailer, but I'm gonna have to get, because if I had one, it'd be awfully useful. Well, there it is, Dale. One crunched up, poor little Alfa. It reminds me of the old Disney cartoon where the car ended up in the scrapyard after having a happy life.
You know what it reminds me of?
What?
The original Day of the Jackal movie
Okay.
with, was it Fox? What's his first name? Anyways, this is the car that he drove and hid his rifle into the...
Oh, he was like a
exhaust pipe.
sniper or something, right?
Yeah, he was assassinating de Gaulle.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
And this is the car.
Well, no wonder it's such in bad shape. He was trying to get away from the French police. Well...
But I love watching that movie just to watch this car.
What
There's
a...
another movie, I forget what the title was, had George C. Scott in it, and he drove one.
Drove one of these. Yeah, there are a pretty little car, and black and red is a nice combination. It's certainly worth saving because it is all there. It's just all there in
It's 90% bodywork. You might as well do the powertrain.
Oh, I'm sure it's going to need to be gone through.
But the nice thing is, it is Weber carbs, dual Webers.
Dual Webers, yeah.
The engine is not the single carb, it's dual Webers. It's basically just this close to being
Like the
a
Veloce, yeah.
Yeah,
It is a...
all you'd have to do is put the cams in.
Well, I guess we'll see what we can do with it, but...
Well, a friend of mine, Phil Ballmer,
yeah.
he learnt on these engines.
On-
He's a heavy-duty mechanic.
Is he still a mechanic?
Yeah.
Oh, well, maybe
still
he's
an
somebody I
engine.
could go to talk to about this.
He overhauled Alphas in South Africa.
So he'd have no trouble going through something like this.
This would be a breeze compared to what he normally works on.
Well, I think the first step on this is going to be assess what it needs once I get it home, and then we'll figure it all out. But off we go. So there we go. Car is off. My bikes are on. Now Dale's bikes. Now, if you look at it, I mean, there's 3 perfectly good motorcycles. And I'm throwing some cash in on the deal to make this trade. And right now, that's kind of a fair trade straight across. But the upside is with the Alfa that once that's all done, well, that's potentially worth a lot more than these bikes will be in any time in the near future. So it's going to take a lot of work, but hoping it's going to be worthwhile. So here it is in its temporary new home. If I go like this, it doesn't look so bad. But then when you back up a bit, you can definitely see all the damage that's occurred. So what's odd about this collision is that it hit something very low. Something low, like maybe a barricade or median, because you can see that the lower fairing is really pushed in. The bumper obviously is toast. This little eyebrow piece might be able to salvage the left-hand passenger side, but I don't know, the other side. Headlight is gone. Well, I mean, it's busted and broken and probably not salvageable. The headlight, although the headlight's broken, the signal light, for whatever reason, didn't break. That glass is still okay. Maybe it's that honeycomb style shape. The hardest part that was impacted on this car was this fender. It crunched right in. And although the car seems to steer just fine and seems to steer straight and true, there's definitely going to need to be some pulling. And what I need to do is find somebody who can actually get on this thing with a frame pulling machine and just pop that back out. It's not going to pop out perfect, but it will pull this back out. And that's the reason why this driver's door is pinching at the top here, because of that. It's got a little buckle in the floor there. Now, if I look at the interior, let me get a light on here. The seats actually aren't that bad. The upholstery is fairly decent. The door panels are good. I remember when I owned this car before, I had sourced this steering wheel. I'm gonna actually sit in here. So, how many miles are on this car? I don't even remember. It has 68,000 miles, but the dash is complete. The dash is not cracked. It had an aftermarket stereo at some point, which somebody took. Glove box is there. Little Alfa Romeo decal. This looks like an under dash light. Cigarette lighter's missing, but all in all, the interior is 100% intact. I still even have a little bit of action on the clutch, and I'm not even gonna attempt to push the brakes because they'll probably never come back up again. So obviously needs some interior work for sure. But nothing, you know, the interior really isn't that bad. The floors aren't rusted, you know. I've seen worse. But you know, this thing's gonna need some work. The spare tire is right behind me. And if the spare tire is back there, what the heck is in the trunk? Oh, get out of this thing. I don't want to fling my door into my actual nice car. Okay. I've got a broken deck hinge right there. Still has the badges on it, and oddly what I think is a New Zealand sticker. Let's see. Oh, there's a pile of parts in the trunk. There's the radiator. So this will be helpful for me to see what I need to buy and what I don't need to buy. I don't know why there's springs in here. I've got, oh, those are the rubber floor mats from inside the car. I said it needed carpeting. I guess this was a rubber floor mat car, and there they are. So I think the best thing I can do is to get a table out and lay out the parts so I can start tallying what I need to get for the vehicle. Obviously, it's going to need some body work all along the front. I don't see windshield wipers on there. Windshield, like you start adding things up and you go, okay, even after the body gets popped out, you've got some rust repair, some straightening to do. Honestly, even if this car was next to free, it would be dicey whether it's worthwhile putting the money into fixing it when you could just buy one in probably decent shape for not much more. How do I get this open? I can feel a latch in here that I can't access. There we go. All right, so some suspension bits. Engine's all here. And this is a 2-carb Veloce style setup. And I don't know if the cams were ever done in this car to make it a performance vehicle or not, but it does have the dual Weber carbs. So that's a little bit of a hotter setup on this engine. The engine does not look like it's sitting quite right. So I'm guessing we've got probably a broken engine mount in there. And generally I can see that one bit of support frame is bowed up a little bit. So it's going to be a project for certain, but it's original, even right down to having the washer fluid bag. Everything's here. Well, I don't see the fan blade on there. I'll have to check and see if this thing is in fact seized up, but it is more or less a complete car. So as bad as it might be, I've seen worse. The only thing that scares me on this is the accident damage, really. That's the unknown. If it was just a beat up complete car, I wouldn't be as worried about it, but you know, it is what it is. Now, one thing that is nice with this vehicle is that you can write to Alfa Romeo and they have a historic division that will send you a certificate that tells you exactly what type of vehicle you have. And I've got that with this vehicle. Let me show you. So this is the paperwork, the official classic Alfa Romeo paperwork that you get. Of course, it's all in Italian, of course. Now, we got serial number there. It's a Giulia Spider. Yes, the 101 model. Got it. It's produced and then sold in 1965. And the destination, Canada. So this is an original Canadian market vehicle. Nero in black with a Rosso red interior. And yeah, that's just awfully cool that it's a numbers matching vehicle. It is an original black with red car, and it is originally a Canadian distributed vehicle. So good facts to have. Okay, it is the next morning. I've ordered a couple parts that I know I'm going to need, like the headlight bucket, proper steering wheel. This isn't the proper steering wheel. It's one that I picked up when I owned the car last time, but it doesn't line up proper. Anyway, it works and it turns, but I want to get the proper steering wheel. I mean, these are things that are really minor considering the rest of the problems with the car, but it helps if you acquire this stuff now. I am going to start emptying out the trunk though and see what's going on back here, so I get a sense of what extra stuff I'm going to need. So I put a little table out there. Melissa was worried. She came out and she said, "You're not going to start spray painting by my car, are you?" Because that's what I usually use this table for. And I said, "No, I am not. Don't worry about it." But she knows me well enough to be just concerned enough. Okay, so let's pop open the trunk and we'll start laying stuff out. Since I had a broken hinge anyway, and I have ordered replacement hinges, I decided it'd be easiest just to take the whole trunk lid off so I'm not worried about that wobbling around. So there it is over there. That'll give me a little bit better access to working back here. This all looks actually pretty solid from what I can see so far, but won't really know until it's all emptied out. What a bunch of parts. Some important stuff though. I've got fan blade, which albeit dirty is not cracked or broken in any way. I've got the radiator, which appears to be in good shape. The trunk and floor mats, which although dirty, look great. In fact, I'm gonna try and clean those up and reuse them. This goes underneath the steering column, I believe. It's like a little trim piece. Lots of important stuff. That looks like somebody at some point had bought a replacement headlight bucket, albeit it's a bit rusty. It's there, but I ended up buying a brand new one anyway, so I don't really need that. That's okay. There are, thank goodness, geez, I don't know if that's even for this car. That's a different style, but oh, maybe that's the inside piece. I have to figure out how this all works. I'm hoping that maybe that's it there. That the other replacement headlight bucket will be in here that I can use. Figure out what those are from. This gentleman had, not Dale, who I got the car back from, but the guy that had it originally had multiple old vehicles, so hard to say what this stuff was meant for. You know, some of it might be for other cars that he had that he no longer had. I don't know, but lots of good parts in here. And some important stuff. That looks like that's a shift stock for the shifter. We've got an interior door handle. Good rare stuff, hard stuff to find. So I'll keep this aside. I'll probably find a plastic bin for this and store it until I go through it completely. I know the radiator, the fan, like there's certain things I'm gonna need 100% for sure. One thing that was nice is I found this in the trunk. Now this is the factory jack. It's actually a pretty expensive piece to buy or to find, and I don't know that I'm going to keep it with this car. Reason being that my much better and more desirable Alfa Romeo that's up top there, my Sprint Speciale, was missing both its spare tire and jack. Those were two things I didn't get from the previous owner. Well, now I have the jack. That's the exact same jack that would have gone in that car, and there is a spare tire in behind the seat back there. So I can probably salvage a couple little bits and pieces for my actual nice car that's up top there. Hopefully this will become a nice car, but in the meantime, I'm just kind of doing the inventory on what's important and what's not. Trunk pan looks remarkably solid. You know, that's the original Flex sort of paint. This will actually clean up pretty easily, so I'm gonna get the vacuum out and give this a once over here, but the trunk looks good. Any rust that you see there, that's just surface. That's not through at all. That's just from the paint coming off. So trunk looks fantastic. And hopefully when I get this up on a hoist, I'll be able to look at the undercarriage and see what kind of shape that's in. But I think the next steps for me, after I go get a bin and start organizing some of this stuff, is gonna be taking the remainders of the bumper and front end apart, because when this does go into a body shop, they're going to need that stuff off anyway to pull that out. And I think my friend Matt Hott, who has Strong's Garage, also on YouTube, is the guy for me that will be able to pull this thing back into shape and get the fenders hammered out. He's an ace body man, so good to have friends that know to do this kind of stuff. I can do minor work, but this is definitely a little bit more beyond me. But I'm gonna go get my bins and start the sorting process. All right, I've got the trunk mat cleaned up and drying. I've got a fresh coat of paint on the bottom of the trunk floor just to prevent any of that corrosion from spreading. So we cleaned that up and we're gonna let that dry. And floor mats cleaned up. All of that is really kind of futile and just busy work until I get to the real work, which is dealing with the body. And that's what we're gonna do on the next episode. So next episode, I'm gonna tear off all of the damaged chrome. I'm gonna label that. We're gonna get the front end kind of cleaned up so it can be worked on. We're gonna get consult from my friend Matt and see what it's gonna take to get this thing pieced back together again, and hopefully start making some progress. Now, this isn't gonna be an overnight video series because we're dealing with other body shops and people who have other time frames, and we're gonna try and find our way to get in there. But hopefully by the end of this whole series, we can have a vehicle that actually, well, isn't as smushed as that one is right now. So thanks very much for watching today's episode, guys, which is episode 1 of hopefully many as we get this car pieced back together. But a little bit of progress. We got her home, and I guess we'll see what happens next. So subscribe for more episodes. We'll see you all soon, and as always, bye for now.